guys. Caleb, we'll start with you tonight.
No Delmy tonight, so David James will translate.
Or I can translate. That's fine.
That would probably
I can do both. Not a problem.
So Pablo, I'm curious, in a game like this where VAR obviously played a pretty big role, do you see it as, could have had 4 goals, or do you see it as kind of, hey, we were lucky to get out with 2?
I don't really see it like either. I think the biggest takeaways for me in self-reflecting in the last 30 minutes was starting the game without 2 strikers. We've been a 2-striker team, and that's what has made us dangerous. It allows us to have more numbers in the box, and I think second half was a great example of that. Right? I think in the first half we had too many players coming to feet. And then when we did break corners on the wide ends, we had no one in the box, and so I think that's a good learning lesson for myself. But I think the second half, the challenge was about character. You can lay down, or you can fight. And there's 2 ways to affect a game: tactically, and we did that by bringing in Danny and Sava, and then there's with intensity. And I think both of those things made the biggest difference. But again, I think it was a real gut check, a real character check, and I'm just proud of the guys for the way they responded in the second half. Not only getting on the scoreboard, but compete in the way they did. And that second half is reminiscent of the last few games we've had on the road, getting forward, winning balls in midfield, spraying it, and playing some really good stuff. And so for as tough it is to get 3 points tonight, I think it's a victory in a lot of ways, given the situation that we were in at halftime. Again, Sava is one of the most talented technical players I think in this league. His ability, and he's not. And the thing is, he's multidimensional. I think if you have wingers that like to go 1v1, that's all they have. If you have wingers that cross, that's what they have. He adds a high level of soccer acumen to discern what this moment calls for. Is it a crossing moment or is it a 1v1 moment? And I think, again, in the first half, I think we made a lot of really poor decisions, whether we were in transition or in the wide areas. I thought we struggled a little bit, and I thought he just brought his level of class to the match. And the most important part for me that he was so engaged and he was willing the team forward with every possession that we had.
I was just going to ask about Diego real quick. I think it's the first time he's gone a full 90 minutes in MLS play, and then even into stoppage time, he got the assist in the end on Jay Glad's goal. Are you kind of just seeing him mature and just kind of grow into the kind of player that can go the distance in a lot of matches?
Yeah. I think it's. I think obviously the U20s, he played quite a few minutes, and there's always a big jump physically, technically, tactically. I think from that level to what we're encountering on the week to week, and again, I think Diego. For as exciting as he is, I think there's so much, I think from the outside there's just so much pressure for him to create every game and score goals every game. For me, he's trending in a very good trajectory as far as the work on both sides of the ball. His decisions are getting better in and around goal. We still need him to shoot more, but for a young man, he's carrying himself with a lot of poise and a lot of confidence. And I think again in our setup, one of our wide players will always be the drop down guy, not our 2 forwards. And again, when you have Luna on one side and Sava occupying the spaces between the lines, but you still have stretch. Now we have multiple options and guys that can create from a 10 position, but we have guys that are always going to be in the box, and so he's doing great.
Down 2-0 at halftime. What was the message to the guys?
Well, again, I think the message was we need more energy, right? We need more intensity in the work that we're doing. The game was so slow again because when you have people coming back to the ball, it's not asking too many questions of the back line. And so they were aggressive, and we found ourselves really playing it east to west. when we're at our best, we're playing north to south. We're picking up second balls. We're repressing in a way. And so obviously the changes, I think, had a big impact in the shape and the personnel. But I think it was the sharpness and the quickness which we were playing through midfield, out wide, back central, forward. I just think we had a lot more options. And I think it was so what I said to him was we need intensity and actions that warrant the crowd getting into the game. And I think once we, when Pablo scored that goal, I thought that was a moment. It took a little bit longer. But again, the way we play is exciting when we're playing forward, when we're getting numbers in the box, when we're creating a lot of chances. And I think that's what we needed at halftime.
Hey, Pablo, thank you for your time. Kind of based off of the previous question as well, inside of the locker room at halftime, were there guys that were kind of taking leadership roles, stepping up and getting other guys just kind of pumped up and ready for that second half?
It was actually quiet. And that's why we always have a coach that walks through the locker room to get a beat on the pulse of the team, the psychology of the team. I think when you have 2 road wins, your psychology is, poor me, it's not going my way. And so I knew that I had to get in there, again, positively, own my part, and now in the second half, give me everything you got. You got to run through a wall. You got to believe that you can do this. And so, again, another great learning experience for the guys, myself and the staff. But the most important thing is that we're all in this together. And the guys, I think, felt so bad that we were in this situation. And again, life doesn't give you what you want. Sometimes you have to work extra hard to get what you want. And so it was a character check for the group. And given that we've gone to the East Coast, we've gone to the Midwest, we've rotated 8 guys. I couldn't be more happy about the mentality of the group and the football that we're playing. And so, just really proud of the guys.
You shared your sentiment kind of after the game, how it was kind of a bittersweet feeling. Was that sentiment kind of shared by the guys after the game as well? Was it a different feeling than the feeling at halftime?
Yeah, 100%. Again, when you're down 2-0, this game is ruthless, because you want to push, but at the same time, you're towing a fine line. Because if you push too hard, you open up space behind, and they got some fast players. They got Reynoso who created both of their goals, and so you're on that edge. And I think we towed it just right with a good balance of sometimes we went man to man, sometimes we dropped one off, but we were able to constantly keep the ball in play and really make them defend. Again, when you go from down 2-0 and you salvage a point. The way I look at it is 7 points in 3 games. Anytime you're above 2 points a game, you're in the playoffs. And more importantly for me in the group, I think it is we keep that momentum going where we're getting points every game. And I think that's a very powerful thing for the confidence of the group.
I don't believe you guys have a game midweek this week, but coming off of a 3-game span in about a week, I think, about a week's time. Was the starting lineup in this game purely a product of rotation for the most part, and how nice is it going to be to kind of get that week off in preparation for Saturday's game next week?
Well, again, it started probably 6 weeks ago when we had the Open Cup, and then we had midweek league games, and I've said this quite a few times. Initially, it isn't conventional to rotate 7-8 guys a game, obviously, but with our group and the mentality that we speak about every day, I think it's important to give guys opportunities. What they do with it is on them. And what they've done with it is shown that it doesn't matter who steps in, that I can contribute. And energy for us is a big factor. And obviously playing 3 games in a week, you're not going to get the same energy if you play the same guys 3 games in a week. And so it's always balancing out that part of it, the energy part of it, and then tactically how they can, the relationships in the different positions. So there's a ton that goes into it from a thought perspective. But I think this week is basically, we've been on the road, and the travel takes it out of you. Going to D.C., coming back home for Father's Day, and then going out to St. Louis. You're in different time zones. Your sleeping's wrong. I mean, there's a lot of variables that a lot of people don't, or a lot of people underestimate the impact that it has. And that's why it's so difficult to win on the road. So for me, it's just great that the guys that were out there tonight stepped up and did another fantastic job, which keeps the group competitive, which has guys vying for positions, and I think everyone feels like they're contributing to where we're at right now.
Preguntarte, Pablo, con respecto un poco, se vio muy bien el juego pasado ante San Luis, el equipo se vio muy bien también ante DC, pero en casa, ¿qué está pasando? Porque el equipo no gana desde el 22 de abril en Liga, en MLS, porque ganaron en la Open Cup ante Galaxy, pero no hay ningún sentimiento con respecto a la manera en la que se juega en casa, porque pues estadísticamente se podría decir que es más fácil ganar en casa que ganar de visita, pero aquí está pasando lo contrario.
Sí, mira, yo creo que con cada partido que no saca el resultado en casa, se sube la presión de los jugadores, pero para mí, claro, un partido en casa, dormí en la cama tuya, estás con la familia, uno piensa que será más fácil ganar en casa, pero la realidad es que todos los jugadores llevan su emoción, la presión que uno lleva por adentro, y también yo creo que en los partidos que no hemos sacado resultados, hemos creado muchas oportunidades para hacer gol. En el fútbol, a veces te sale, a veces no, pero y por eso siempre hablo del esfuerzo del equipo, porque eso, el esfuerzo y la mentalidad que tenemos cuando jugamos de visitante, hay que estar más enchufado. ¿Por qué? Porque sos el equipo visitante. Hay que estar más agresivo. ¿Por qué? Porque tiene que afectar la afición. Acá en casa a veces creo que pensamos que a veces vamos a sacar el resultado porque estamos en casa, pero eso al revés. Necesitamos más mentalidad, más esfuerzo, porque la calidad lo tenemos. Así, todos los partidos son diferentes, pero lo que vimos en el segundo tiempo es el equipo que debe arrancar del primer, y también las decisiones del árbitro. Fue penal y cambió la decisión. O sea, son eventos en el partido que afectan la psicología de un jugador.
Sí, justo eso iba a comentar con respecto a el cambio de decisión. Se vio claro que afectó a los jugadores en el terreno de juego. Te vi hablando cuando se acabó el partido con los 4 árbitros al finalizar. Algo que les hayas comentado, sí se vio dividida la afición inclusive en cuanto a las decisiones del árbitro. Inclusive analistas previo al partido estaban comentando lo mismo. ¿Qué pudiste hablar con ellos o qué les pudiste transmitir de acuerdo a las decisiones? Porque en lo personal creo que más allá de que la árbitra tomó la decisión, ella fue la que marcó no penal y gol anulado por fuera de lugar, pero el VAR intervino en ambas situaciones.
Sí, no, hoy día fue un partido raro de ese tema, y le pregunté por qué cambió la decisión del penal, porque estaba a 10 metros de la jugada, la vio con sus ojos, estaba ahí, era penal claro, y así pasan, así es el fútbol. Hay tantas cosas que puede afectar un partido, y yo creo que esa llamada, cuando sacó el penal, el equipo como perdió el aire un poco. En el segundo, cuando anularon el gol de Pablo, hasta el entrenador de Minnesota dijo enfrente de los árbitros que era gol. Y no entiende por qué anularon el gol. Así. Pero por eso es difícil en esta liga, porque hay muchas cosas que afectan el resultado.
Lo que pasa es que siempre,
One from Carlos and then one from Willie. Please, thank you.
es que siempre nos toca lo mismo, ese es el problema, las malas decisiones.
No, pero también necesitamos afectar el juego.
Pero son 2 decisiones, ¿no?
Sí, es difícil sacar un resultado, los 3 puntos.
Y que la cambia el VAR, no, porque el árbitro la vio.
Por eso, no entiendo. Pero no, como un equipo no podemos gastar energía en las cosas que no podemos afectar. Pero ojalá en el futuro esas decisiones van en nuestro favor.
Pero lo digo porque hay que analizar 2 cosas, el resultado y el juego. Es decir, y el juego a mí me ha encantado. Al que le gusta el fútbol, me parece que vimos un grandísimo partido y el Real jugando a un nivel altísimo, como vimos en San Luis. Lo hemos visto hoy, sobre todo la segunda parte. Y era la primera pregunta que te iba a hacer, o bueno, te hago dos preguntas porque veo que nada más que puedo hacer una, te hago doble pregunta. Una es, desde el punto de vista del resultado, del juego, estos son de los partidos que, digamos, los jugadores que dan el nivel más alto, ¿no? Y me refiero a cuando tú estabas comentando la salida de Savarino, de Damir, le dan un salto de calidad al equipo y eso hizo un poco la diferencia. Y ellos con Reynoso, ¿no? Creo que en partidos tan igualados, esos son momentos, o son jugadores que son los que hacen la diferencia, ¿no?
Sí, yo creo que, mira, el Saba es un jugador que está en un momento muy bueno en su carrera y después de tantos momentos difíciles para el Damir, yo creo que en este momento está a donde estuvo en 2021. O sea, físicamente, mentalmente y la habilidad de definir. Esas son cosas que son muy clave. Claro, los pibes querían jugar, pero también hay un proceso donde no podemos arriesgar. O sea, el equipo anda bien cuando estamos rotando y para mí vamos a tener un julio lleno de partidos, con equipo de México, también en agosto tenemos el Open Cup, así. Son decisiones que tenemos que tomar para el salud del jugador, o sea, porque todos quieren jugar. Y esta rotación a veces me pongo en la oficina y estamos hablando una hora con un jugador porque me está contando por qué debe estar jugando y le explico. Somos un equipo, ganamos juntos y perdemos juntos, pero son jugadores clave y ahora que tenemos una semana para entrenar, claro, los dos van a estar listos para ser titular.
No, lo decía por el resultado, ¿no? Que te veo un poco, porque se ganó un punto, pero que tú sabes claramente se tenía que haber ganado
Sí.
el partido y porque el equipo lo mereció, ¿no? Digo esto que al final debes estar contento, porque el equipo está jugando a un nivel altísimo.
Si me preguntabas si quiero 0 puntos o 1 punto, quiero el 1. Claro, al fin quiero el 3. Pero después de la llamada que cuando se enteró el VAR, esas son cosas que no podemos afectar y son 2 goles. Y ganamos el partido 4-2. Pero
¿Y en qué momentos?
Y son momentos clave y afecta la emoción del juego, la psicología del jugador. Pero estoy contento con el 1 porque sacamos 7 puntos en los 3 partidos. Lo que yo quiero es los 3 puntos para la afición. La afición merece los 3 puntos en casa y eso me deja un poco...
Pero llegará.
Pero llegará.
Pablo, rapidito nada más. Jugando fuera se está sacando resultados y perfecto, excelente. Tal vez no hay la forma de cambiar. En casa hay que ser protagonistas y buscar el partido, por supuesto. Pero si se cambia la tónica a jugar como se juega fuera, sin mucha presión, esperando a que te vengan a buscar el partido y lo sacas el resultado como los demás te podría. ¿Has pensado en algún momento eso? Sí.
¿De qué? Pregúntame de nuevo.
De que jugando fuera es diferente porque buscas el partido, esperas a que te vengan, tú sales, contraataque, los agarras, pero aquí tratas de ser protagonista y ahí es donde te contraatacan y te ganan el partido. Empiezas a cambiar esa posición, esperar a que te ataquen y vas al contraataque.
Mejor, tenemos que hacer algo diferente. Yo creo que eso, si viste el primer gol que hicimos en St. Louis, eso fue de puro contragolpe. Y claro, porque como decís vos, el equipo en casa tiene la responsabilidad de jugar un lindo estilo de fútbol, pero también sacar el resultado. De visitante, resultado. Y el equipo en casa debe ser el que juega un lindo estilo. Yo creo que podemos ser los dos. Hay que ser más inteligente en pocos momentos, pero también, a lo mejor, de mi puesto, tácticamente, hay que esperar un equipo un poco más para crear el espacio donde podemos atacar. Vamos a mirar el video de este partido, pero el próximo partido es de visitante, así vamos a estar preparados para ese partido. Epa. Ok, gracias. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thanks, Pablo.
questions for Justen?
Oh.
We'll go Caleb, DJ.
I'm sure 3 points would have been nice, but it kind of seemed like a nice match for you to have the recognition before the game, and then to get such an exciting equalizer there, kind of at the death. What were your emotions like tonight, I guess?
Yeah, no, I was definitely excited, especially my grandma and grandpa flew out, which was a surprise. I didn't expect them to be there, so that was an awesome moment for me. And yeah, obviously the 3 points would have been incredible. I thought we had it there at the end, but to score in front of my family in that fashion was fun.
Can you just take us through the goal and what you saw and how it developed?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I had flashbacks because I swear there was a play exactly like that a couple games ago, and I hit it over. And I said to myself after the game, if that happens again, I just got to hit it as hard as I can and put it on frame. So that's literally what I was thinking when that moment happened, and put it on frame and winning the goal. So
You're on track for 5 goals. That was the goal. Still the goal,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Here we go. Fingers crossed. Couple more.
Hey, Justen, thank you for your time. Obviously, Pablo was talking kind of about the locker room and how at halftime it was pretty quiet, and then post game it was a very different feeling. This is your 201st appearance as a homegrown, first RSL homegrown to be able to do that for this team. What does the culmination of this game in front of, you mentioned some of your family, getting the goal, the equalizer, the emotions from this game, what does everything that has to do with this game tonight mean for you and for this club?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's an achievement I'm super proud of, but it's just another milestone along the way. You know, I'm trying to continue to get 300, get 400. But like you said, I'm very proud of it. My family's been there for all of it, the ups and downs. You know, it's not always just like this, so they've been incredible, and even just the guys on the team, really everyone has played a huge part in my career. So it's been awesome. And for tonight, I think it was just massive that we got the result. Obviously, we haven't been getting results at home, which is disappointing for us, disappointing for our fans. It's nice to win on the road, but it's a special feeling when you win in front of your home fans and they get to share in that. So I was happy to get the point, happy to give the fans an exciting game, but at this point, you know, it's still just about keeping that, keeping the groove going and keep climbing the table and you know, making a run and hopefully winning some trophies here.
2 goals for Minnesota in the first half, and you guys are down 2-0 at halftime. But in the second half, you looked pretty good defensively. You got the shutout in the second half. What was it that kind of led to the back line's improvement as this game went on?
I think it was not just the back line. I think as a team there was more commitment, more willingness to run for each other and to get back and make tackles. Obviously, as a back line, it's on us if we get scored on, but I thought the work in front of us was incredible the second half to get back, track back, get their 10s running through and tracking those runners, which makes our job that much easier. So,
Thanks, Justen.
Cool.
Justen, congrats for your score. I know, did you score before more goals? And I called so many goals too. But at this point, you say you have your family, you scored before. How did you feel? Because when I called this game, I called like we won the cup or something.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that? You want to compare this goal with another times?
No, I would say that was probably my favorite goal that I've scored in my career. You know, it's left-footed. I had the fam here, 200th game, or celebrating the 200th milestone. So that was for sure my favorite goal. So that was just an exciting moment for me and my family. So.
Questions?
Justen, also I want to ask you about you played for the academy, and now Real Salt Lake is having many other players who also played for the academy, like Bod Hidalgo and Diego Luna. How do you see the development of those younger players who are having a good performance in the past few games?
Yeah, no, it's awesome to see. Obviously, the Salt Lake has done an incredible job with their academy over the years, and to see these young guys, perform and get games under the belts and perform at a high level, it's always exciting, and it shows that it can be done. And it's for me, I think it's awesome for the club. It's awesome to see that pipeline is still there, and yeah, it's exciting for the future as well, because that means there's going to be more kids like Bodie, more kids, Gavin Beavers coming up, stepping up and playing in these big games. So it's awesome to see.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Justin.